Hello and welcome. My name's Jo from Zentangle. Today I'm going to show you a tile that incorporates two Zentangle headquarters tangles, Arukas and Pokeleaf. So I've got a Micron 05 in black. We're not going to do any dots border. So we're going to go straight in with, in the centre, drawing an orb, and it's a bit bigger than the top of your Micron pen. And now we've done that, I'm going to bring off some arms. So they're like spokes of wheel, and I'm just going to bring one down here. And I'm going to aura it so you get a nice ribbon. I'm going to do another one. They don't have to all go to the corners. I'm going to add 5 of these ribbons, so they're not sort of evenly spaced. Some are longer, some are shorter, and that's absolutely fine, as it's nice to have something that's not sort of so regimented. They're just nice. Don't worry if your lines aren't straight. I actually prefer lines that have a little bit of character and a little bit of wobbliness. We're now going to add our first aura around the orb. So keeping the aura lines about the same width as the first ribbons, I'm going to add auras all the way around. Okay, now we've done that, we're going to go back to our ribbons and we're going to aura on each side. So you do these one at a time. One here. A really good point to make is that don't rush this. You know, always start your tangling with that moment of gratitude. To say thank you, you know, how lovely that I can sit down and draw. Maybe you have other gratitudes in your life, things that you can be grateful for. In fact, I know you have. Whoever you are, there are always things to be grateful for. I've actually got a cup of coffee beside me here. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to drink it at the same time as talking to you. Who knows? Let's see. So we've done all those auras on both sides of those ribbons. And now we go back and we add another aura around the orb. So we keep doing that one at a time. You know, take your time, don't rush it. Nice and steady. So that's simple. And guess what? We're going to go back to adding an aura on either side of those ribbons, those original ribbons. And you can see they start creating a sort of stacked, layered look coming out from the orb. So this is Arukas, and the name of it and details are in the description of the video. So when you're doing these, focus on just the line that you are drawing. Don't worry about what I'm going to do next, or even what the next line's going to be. Focus on this line, this one that we're drawing right now, here, looking at the ink coming out of your pen. It's about being very aware of being in the moment. Zentangle helps us to be able to be mindful, proactively mindful, by creating art that we can look at, that's easy to create one step at a time, and being more mindful and doing something that we allow our brains to settle and focus on can really make us feel so much more relaxed. And Zentangle, creating Zentangle has a huge number of benefits, and those are growing all the time. The more research that's done, apart from the mental health, sort of calm, mindfulness, shown that it does help reduce anxiety and depression, and that's got to be a good thing. I mean, I find that it helps me be more aware of things that are going on around me, makes me appreciate the world I live in, and just allowing myself time to do this. And most of my videos on here and on other social media platforms are the very easy to create, simple, focused tangles. Yes, we can all do, and I mean all of us can do something far more complicated, and I will be adding video classes to my website soon, which will be a little bit more intense. No, that's the wrong word, not intense, detailed maybe. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. And can you see the beauty of arukus is you've got this sort of star shape here, and that is arukus. So now we're going to add pokeleaf, and we're going to add pokeleaf into these spaces. Pokeleaf is a lovely organic tangle, so we start that by drawing a stalk and then popping a little cap over the top, a little bit of a curve. And now we're going to draw sort of like an upside down heart shape that comes up round, up to the point, bring it back down. I've gone a little bit underneath hollyboard, and that is a poke leaf. So we do another one off the side. So you've got a little leaf, a little cap over the top, and then you can get a little bit wavy with this. They don't have to be, in fact they fit in beautifully in many spaces. You can squish them in. Welsh word I use when I'm teaching is cwtch. They can be cwtched in, and a cwtch is a cuddle in Welsh. So we cwtch them in like so, and I try to sort of get them going at different directions so it has a little bit more of an organic feel. Aren't they fab? They're really good, and you can fill a space really quickly. And so here I'm going to hollybore underneath, so imagining that it goes underneath that little bit. I'm going to turn my tile, and I'm going to start again. So we just do some more poke leaf and another poke leaf, quietly filling the space. Remember to breathe, don't hold your breath when you're doing this. Sometimes when we're concentrating, we can hold our breath. Maybe be aware of any tension in your shoulders and consciously relax them, because that will ease any tension in your shoulders. Doing another one over this way. And I am going to do another one here. And they don't have to all be the same size. You can do some smaller ones, you can do some bigger ones. Really is entirely up to you how you do them. And everybody's poke leaf will look different. And that's fine. It'll look like it's meant to look, how you draw. And I think it's important to note, you know, I hear people saying, oh, I want to draw like you or like whoever else. And you never will, because you aren't them. You will draw like you draw, and that is fabulous. It's about owning your creative identity, and you're all creative. Everybody can do this one stroke at a time. That's all Zentangle is. It's one stroke of the pen. Simple pen movements that enable us to create these lovely images. You can see how quickly we can fill a space. So you might find that you draw at a different pace to me. In fact, I would imagine that pretty much everybody draws at a different pace. And it's not about being fast or slow. It's about being whatever is right for you at this moment. You know, and try not to rush your drawing, try not to rush your Zentangle pen strokes. Go back to being really aware. If you find your focus drifting, just stop, maybe take a deep breath, maybe pop your pen down and wriggle your fingers, and then pick your pen up and continue, and with a conscious decision just to pay attention to what you're actually doing here and now. So you can see I've folded that one over so that it sort of fits in that space. I'm going to do another one here actually, because this space, so that one's going to go all the way under that one. And lo and behold, there we are. So this is looking very liney at the moment, and by that I mean it's got no strength, it's got no inked in areas, but we are going to add them, and those inked in areas are those little gaps here between the poke leaf. Adding inking in some little spaces, add some drama and some strength to your tangling. And whilst lots of line work, it is amazing and it can look very pretty and very delicate. Adding a few bits of solid ink somewhere can make it pop. So we can continue filling these spaces like so. And just taking your time. There's no rush at all to fill these. It's just the enjoyment of pen on paper. Just going to add that little bit on there. Okay, so there we have some poke leaf and arukas. So we're now going to do some shading. So make sure you've got a nice sharp pencil. It's a short length because it fits in your hand nicely. So where I'm going to add shading, using the side of my pencil, I'm going to come up the sides of those little round auras very gently, like so. Okay, making it fairly dark. Don't be scared of adding your graphite. You know, you can add it a little bit at a time. I'm going to use my tortillon, and with small circular moves, I'm just going to fix that in place and then move my tortillon out. What I want to do is get rid of that harsh graphite line. Okay, so it goes like that. The same with this one, and we're going to do that all the way around. So you want it close to dark because that dips, it makes it recede when it's darker. You can see I'm just pulling that graphite out so that it goes from dark to light to barely there. And what it does is it creates this lovely perception of these being slightly deeper, further away. Okay, so we're going to very carefully take as much time and focus with your shading as you did with your line work. It's a very important part of the Zentangle method, the shade, step 6, and it makes so much difference to what your tangling looks like. It gives it that third dimension, goes from 2D to 3D, and use very light touch. You can see I'm just bringing that out nice and carefully. And here too. Okay. Yes, this is coming together now. Okay. And this is what happens when you add your shade. You'll suddenly go, oh wow, look what's happened. And if you're following this video, I would suggest that maybe take a photograph of your tangled tile before you add the shade, and then compare after you've added the shade, because you'll be able to see what a difference it makes. So I'm trying not to get any graphite in either the first ribbons, this one, or in the little roundish sections. I have gone over a little bit, but hey, that doesn't matter, it's a small thing. You don't have to get het up about anything that we perceive as a mistake. It's not, it's just what's happened. Often it's an opportunity to say, okay, well, that's where my pen or my pencil has gone. What opportunity can I see there? Rather than beating ourselves up with, oh no, it's not perfect. Do you know, you'll hear me say this on other videos, you will never reach perfect. There's something called the curse of perfectionism, where the more you look to make something perfect, you reach what you think is perfect and then you aim for the next perfect. So you just keep going on and it becomes, we beat ourselves up. Whereas if we just got on with it and created for the enjoyment of it, we would be so much happier. Well, I'm so much happier because that's what I do. And it's not to say I haven't had some, should we say, challenging times. We all have challenging times, don't we? But they don't have to dominate our lives. Okay, so I've almost done the shade on these bits. And it's sort of exciting of what's going to happen next. Okay, so we pop that there, fix that. When I say fix it, I mean just get those little bits of graphite into the paper surface. Then you want to get rid of where that harsh finish line of the graphite is, so it's blended nice and carefully. The little circular motions help the graphite go into the paper fibres rather than just going backwards and forwards, which squishes them down. Okay. And sometimes you can use your finger, little finger, if you've got enough space there, just to smudge it out. There we are. Okay, so already that's glowing in the middle, isn't it? Talking about the middle, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run my pencil around the centre, keeping it close to, okay, keeping it nice and close, and bring it in, but I'm going to keep that centre clear of graphite, just so it's like a little glow in the middle. So we've now got our poke leaf. What are we going to do with those? First thing I'm going to do is underneath the little cap, I'm going to pop a little bit of graphite. Okay, and what this will do, now I use my tortillon, is just very carefully keep it close to, it'll make it look like the little stalk is going into a fatter poke leaf. I'm now going to put graphite where the poke leaf go underneath either the adjacent tangle or underneath each other. Okay, so that's all on that one. Just very gently tease that out, like so. Okay, and this goes underneath here, look, just a little bit goes underneath. You don't want to spread the graphite too far, but again you want to blend it so you haven't got that harsh line. I'm just going to go around all my poke leaf doing exactly the same. Under the little cap, first of all, you might need to blow away little bits of graphite or little bits of paper fibre that have lifted as you've used your tortillon. So graphite just so where it goes underneath, because the dark will make it look deeper, so it will enhance the impression of it going underneath. Like this. It helps if you've got a tortillon that's got a fairly pointy end. And you, again, sort of almost using the side of the point. You're not going right on the tippy tip of it. And they don't last forever, tortillons. They wear down. So, but they're not expensive. So that's quite nice. And now I'll just do these little bits here, here. I've put all my shady bits down now, and I'm going to put a little bit up there. Okay, now very gently, you can get in quite a bit of flow, creative flow when you're doing your shade. Enjoy it, enjoy that process, just like you enjoy your line work with your ink. Know that this is making a difference, and don't be scared of it. You know, have a little play. I always think it's really worthwhile having a little play when you're tangling, because there's always another bit of paper. You know, there is always another bit of paper, and more to learn and more to do, and that's got to be a good thing, hasn't it? Okay. So again, I'll just bring you back to focus. Be aware of your breathing. Be aware of any tension that you're holding in your body, and try and consciously relax that. As you're tangling, you might find that you're clenching the pen or your pencil too tightly. Just very gently release that pressure. It's just this checking in with yourself, checking in where you are with it and what you're doing. Allowing your mind just to be at peace and at rest. And by creating Zentangle and many art forms, you're engaging a part of your brain that allows that rest, that creative side of your brain. And you know, it doesn't actually really matter what you are doing. You know, if you're just drawing a series of lines, and I sometimes do that, because it's that focus and attention that just allows, it's not about allowing your brain to switch off, just lets it settle and rest from the busyness of our lives. Okay, so I'm nearly at the end of this shading now. Oh, and look how wonderful this looks. Very simple. So this isn't taking me very long. It isn't going to take you very long. Of course, you can stop the video, pause it, do your little bit and start it again, and you can rewind if you want. It's absolutely fine. So there we have Pokeleaf and Arukas. I'm now going to sign my Zentangle artwork. I'm going to pop my chop, which is my Z for Zenjo, and a JO for Joe. And once you've signed your work, date it on the back. It's always worth dating it on the back. Pop your pen to one side, and now just take some time to appreciate what you have created. And I'd love to see what you've done. So do share them with me. Thank you very much.